throughout the year. The offense wasn't great either, and it seems like those things often go hand in hand. It just seems like when a bad tone is set, it finishes this way. You look at, I was just looking back at the last game that I had done, which was the Miami game on Wednesday night, and it was a very similar outing. Andre Palante there gave up 5 runs and 5 1/3. Today, Matthew Liberatore gives up 4 runs and 4 1/3. And the offense really was pretty quiet. So not much doing as a long rain delay turns into a tough day for the Redbirds at the office. They'll be back home to start a series with Pittsburgh. We'll look at that one in just a bit. Today, though, they finish off their series in Tampa Bay with the loss. They drop 2 of 3 to Tampa Bay after a good start to the series, really good start to the series on Thursday night. They had a nice comeback on Friday, but ends up falling short. And today it just felt like they never really got off the ground after the big inning in the fourth for the Rays, where they scored the 4 runs, the grand slam from Caminero, and things just kind of went bad from there. So we've, again, got a few minutes here. We'll try to get you close to 7 o'clock. If you want to get in, drop a comment in on the socials via X, via Facebook, via YouTube, any of those, and we'll be able to see it, and I'll be able to chat about it here. If you want to try to get a quick call in, 314-436-7900. That's where we're at. We can try to take a call or two. Again, we'll be with you just before till just about 7 o'clock here tonight, and I think that would be certainly appropriate for a long day of Cardinals coverage. Carlos says the road trip was not a good one for the Cardinals, losing 2 out of 3 to the Rays. You are correct, Carlos. Not great. Certainly not what you want from this team. Terry says the season now definitely looking to see what the Cards have going forward. Wish we could see Weatherholt. I think there's a lot of folks that agree with you, Terry. They'd like to see J.J. Weatherholt. I don't know if that's going to happen. The indications have been that it is not going to happen. But again, those things could change. Those things could shift here as we go down the stretch, but at least what we've been told publicly and what we've heard from John Mozeliak is that that's not going to happen here this year, not likely to happen here this year. We have a call, Daniel, that I want to get to right here. We'll get right to the phone. Don, you're up on KMOX. Got to be quick, Don.
Joel, thanks for taking my phone call.
Sure.
I watched about 4 or 5 innings of this game, and I just turned it off. I can't watch games like this, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm not impressed with Liberatore. They need to unload this roster and get a new starting rotation. That's my take on it, and I'll hang up and let you comment on, Joe, and you have a good evening.
Thank you, Don. I appreciate it. Appreciate the call. I'm not ready to give up on Matthew Liberatore yet. He is up against his career high in innings pitched. I think that's probably playing a part in this, taking a toll. We heard a little bit from him and from Dusty Blake that we used from FanDuel during the pregame show today, and they were talking about him getting up against innings, and they think that was causing the velocity to drop, and that's usually a sign that things aren't going great. His velocity was dropping today. Rick Horton did mention that, but I'm not ready to give up on Matthew Liberatore yet. I think that he can be a part of this rotation going forward. Sam says he thought Libby got squeezed in that 5th inning. But you can't walk 3 guys in front of Caminero, and that's a valid point. Rick Horton was talking about how tough it was to walk Simpson, obviously loading the bases, because you've got more you can do there. You've got a little bit more flexibility if you don't walk Simpson there in that 5th inning. We're going to take a break here. We'll come back. We'll try to finish things up. We're only going to be here until about 7 o'clock tonight. So we'll take a break, come back with segment number 2 of the Extra Innings Show after this on KMOX.
There's a big red barn where you say free. Norm's Bargain Barn. On discount windows, doors, and things. Norm's Bargain Barn.
Hi, I'm Norm Wilkie. Come see my new selection of Amish cabinetry made by my good Amish friends at Countrywood Products. We now stock 5 styles of cabinetry for you to choose from.
When you need to save on discount windows, doors, and cabinetry, come to Norm's Bargain Barn. With locations in Shiloh and Fenton at the bottom of Gravois Bluffs. Visit normsbargainbarn.com.
That's normsbargainbarn.com.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are visiting with Dr. Premal Thacker.
I think the key is recognizing symptoms and not ignoring them to say, oh, I think that's going to go away. So I highly encourage anyone who's listening, if they're having abnormal bleeding or hasn't seen their gynecologist in a while, to really make that appointment to ensure that you're getting the best health.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, please visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Feel like your paycheck barely keeps up with your life? At the Financial Freedom Seminar, learn how real people are building passive income and retiring early using real estate. It's all happening live in St. Louis with Lifestyles Unlimited, September 27th and 28th. You'll leave with a step-by-step plan to change your future. Text radio to 88007. That's live in St. Louis, September 27th and 28th. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007.
Hey, facility managers. At Graybar, we're not just one of the largest distributors of electrical and datacom parts in North America. We're your connection to help make your buildings smarter. We work with best-in-class manufacturers to supply products for wireless, security, renewable energy, lighting, and critical power solutions. And we have a network of integrators nationwide that can help make it work all together. So, the next time you're thinking about making your building smarter, think Graybar, and we'll help you get connected. Visit graybar.com/connected buildings to learn more.
Now, back to the Verizon Extra Innings Show.
Runners will be moving, and the pitch to Walker is popped up into shallow center field. Long way to run for everybody, and they're not going to get it. That's going to drop for a hit, and a run's going to score. And the Cardinals now trail 7-1 as Walker keeps that at-bat going and gets rewarded for it. A base hit to center scores Alec Burleson.
We're back in on the Extra Innings Show. Joe Pott with you here on KMOX for another few minutes here. Extra Innings Show is presented by Graybar. Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Nick's come in on the comments, a couple of questions, or a couple of comments, I should say there. Starting pitching in a bad spot. He says, I don't see how you can trust anyone that they have now for 2026. Remember, we all thought Palante found it last season. This year has been a disaster. Yep, I understand that feeling. He said, I think it would be fool's errands to think that Libby or McGreevy will not have a setback sophomore year, plus Gray is washed up. I didn't say that. Bernie did, and in Bernie, I trust. Well, I also trust in Bernie. I don't think it's any secret that it looks like Sonny Gray has kind of lost a step, certainly. And the hot weather thing, it's been a problem in his career, the warmer weather, the July, those middle months. But, man, it seems like it's been bad this year. But I would disagree. I do think, personally, I'm okay if you're looking at Libby, if you're looking at McGreevy. I think you still give those two some more time. And I don't mind doing that. So I think that's the way to go. Hey, our buddy Andrew Price gets in. Can we make the playoffs? Andrew, they are not mathematically out of it, my friend, but it certainly looks like it would be a tough road to get there. It's been a tough road for a while, but it is definitely a tough road at this point. They are 6.5 games, I think 6.5 games back. They might be still 5.5 games back out of the wild card right now. Cincinnati has moved up, but the New York Mets lost today. So they're still 5.5. So it is not mathematically impossible, buddy, but it is certainly going to be tough. But Andrew, I'm glad you texted in. I'm glad you put a comment on there. Good to hear from you as always. Want to remind you what's on deck is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best, chesterfieldfence.com. So it is a series coming up with the Pirates at Busch Stadium. This is a 4-game series, and then the Cardinals are going right back out on the road. Tomorrow is going to be Johan Oviedo, the former Cardinal, against Michael McGreevy, who has been good so far this year in his time up in the big leagues. And again, I still think you trust him and you give him some time, and we see what we got. I think if you're the Cardinals, as far as that goes, McGreevy's 5-2 with a 4.42 ERA. Johan Oviedo is 1-0 with a 4.5 ERA. It was supposed to be Mitch Keller tomorrow, so I don't know if they have just pushed him back in the series or if they are going to skip him for whatever reason. We'll have to wait and see, because other than tomorrow, the Pirates did not have any starters listed. So hard to tell if they are going to push him back or if they're just going to skip him for this series. Carlos said, I don't see the playoffs for this season, and he hates to say it. And I understand that, Carlos, and I think you're right, though. I think that the playoffs have been out of the question. I think the playoffs have been a reach, obviously, for a while, right? It's been, when you get down to the end of July and you ended up trading your 3 highest leverage relievers. I think most people are understanding that the postseason is not likely to be what you're shooting for anymore, right? It's not what you're aiming for. So what you're aiming for is continue to see some of those players and to continue to figure out some things. I think, Matthew Liberatore, Michael McGreevy, they become big players for you as far as you need to know what you have in that rotation coming into 2026. I think we can all agree that Michaelis is probably not going to be a part of it. I can't imagine. I don't know. Sonny Gray still signed. We should see. We'll see. Andre Palante as well. We'll see. I think all those are we'll see. I think you have to stick with Liberatore and Michael McGreevy. Again, we'll see what that looks like and how that turns out. But I think obviously the focus stopped being on the playoffs when you move those three relievers. Again, it is not mathematically impossible. They could make some kind of run over the final month. It doesn't feel like they're going to. There's no signs saying that they're going to, but I guess it's certainly possible. So the Cardinals have the Pirates coming in next week for the 4 games at Busch Stadium. You're then on to Cincinnati for a 3-game trip. That would certainly make a big difference there because it's one of the teams you're chasing. So you could make up some ground if for some reason you got hot next week and really took off into Cincinnati. You come home for a good homestand to start September. If you heard John Rooney kind of run through it, but it's the first week in September home, the second week out, the third week home, the fourth week out. And that's the end of the season for the regular season anyway. They've got the A's and Giants to start the month. You go to Seattle and Milwaukee. You come back for Cincinnati and Milwaukee. And then you finish with San Francisco and the Cubs on the road. That's it. That's what it looks like. So we'll see how that all plays out. Big thanks to the voice of the Cardinals, John Rooney. Thanks to Rick Gordon. Thanks to Ryan Schulte. They all had to stick it out all day watching the rain and the tarp come on and off. Thanks to Drew Young, who started the day with us. Thanks to Daniel Hinkamp, who is ending the day with us. Certainly appreciate all of their work as well. Cardinals and Pirates coming up tomorrow. It is a 6:45 first pitch at Busch Stadium. That means Ameren Total Access comes your way at 5:50. And then the first pitch will be thrown by Michael McGreevy. He's up against Johan Oviedo. Have a great week, everybody. Keep it right here on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood.